Okay, David, this is about Google Classroom, and since this is kind of your first time getting into Google Classroom, just going through what I use it for. So let's go ahead and go into the 8th grade class, and I've added you as a co-teacher right now, but where you can find that information is you've got the stream, the students, and the about up here. And importantly, I need to be in my Lions Den. A lot of kids have trouble because they're not in their Lions Den account when they log in. There we go. 8th grade. About. Here you are, co-teacher. Here's the syllabus that I put up for the kids. Let's go over to students now. All the students that are in the class are listed here, and you can see that there are still a couple kids who have not logged in, and those names are in gray here. This is a wonderful platform for communicating with kids because you can tick their name and email them. If any new students come, you just invite them, and the class will show up automatically in their homepage section with all of their classes. Now, most importantly, the stream. This is where I post all of the assessments and how the students are going to submit their assessments. So up here I have the most current assessment that they're working on, which is their macro drawing, and I post 2 different Google documents up with every assessment. One is the rundown of the unit or the learner plan, and this shows them, it's pretty much the same information I have, the expectations of it, what we're doing, what we need, the standards. It's like the lesson plan. And then the second thing I put up is a Google Sheet of their rubric. And what I ask students to do is self-assess themselves on these categories so that they have a chance to read through them. So they'll go through and maybe highlight the box that they think best fits them in those categories. When you upload a document to your assignment, you'll have different options, and one of the options is that each student will get a copy of this document. So when I put the rubric up, that means that Google Classroom will give each student a copy of this document with their name in the heading of it so that it's specific to them. So they will comment on that document, and then I will comment back on their document for feedback. So let's go through how to create an assignment. Over here in the bottom right is the plus, and you can do announcements, assignments, questions, and reposting if you've already posted on another class. This is helpful if you have multiple sections, which you do. So let's do an assignment. So the next assignment for grade 8, pretty sure is a watercolor assignment. So you'll put in the title of it, and then you can also post for grade B, or section B, to all students. Sometimes this is helpful if you can, if for like my 11th and 12th grade classes with the macro and micro students, you can assign them different due dates and different assignments. Even though they're in the same class, they're off the normal schedule. The instructions, just basically when you're finished, take a photo, upload your photo onto the submission, and self-evaluate yourself and submit it. Now here is where you can go in and add the documents that detail the rubric and the unit plan. So macro drawing, macro unit plan, let's just say those. Oops. I can't add it because it's beyond my box. Okay, and then you'll click, once you've filled in all the stuff, you can click Assign. When students go in to submit to these different things, so let's go back to the charcoal point of view, which was their previous one, you click on who has finished it, and it'll give you a list right here in the corner of all their different people who have and haven't turned stuff in. So Aaron, he'll have his rubric and then a picture of the drawing that he did in class. And going into his rubric, you'll see that I've already graded him by marking in his categories. And I can leave comments here for them to check up on later. And then inputting the grades. Make sure that the grade here is the same weighted grade that you have in your IS2. Otherwise, it'll be like 24 out of 100, because it normally puts 100 in there. And once I grade them here, then they know that they'll have a grade in IS2. So I just copy it over to IS2. But the reason that this is the way it is so that students can have timely and appropriate feedback. Okay. Another helpful thing about Google Classroom is some people turn things in late. So you have a to-do list here, and I'm a bit behind, so I'm sure that there will be quite a few things that I need to get on. So 2 people have turned in their watercolor buildings, but I've already graded and returned 3 of them. So the returned ones are the ones that after you grade it and give them comments, you're able to tick their boxes and then click return, and that will send an email to them letting you know that they can view your comments and view their mark in Google Classroom. For quarter 1, and Mary and I have talked about this, one of the ways that we have been approaching some of the standards here in the class is through students self-evaluating themselves through something I call art habits. And it's a rubric based on how they function in their collaborative creative space. And so I think that we will probably be doing an art habits self-evaluation each quarter so that students can know a little bit more about the habits they need to develop as an artist working with others in the classroom. So I usually put up a screencast if it's a new type of assignment that they don't know how to complete, so that they can watch the video real quick and then complete it. What else do I need to explain? If you have slides, you can put the slides up. So the Google Classroom is wonderful where it connects everything that you have in Drive to the students, and it makes copies for the students, which is fantastic. Love that about it. I think that's pretty much it. So you have all of these classes now, and you can go in and add assignments, get to know how the students have done with some of their other assignments. And that's pretty much it. Okay. Thanks, David.